Okay, so lately I've been doing tons of research, scouring the internet, trying to find the perfect camera backpack, and after looking through hundreds of different backpacks, comparing and contrasting all of the features, I think I finally found the perfect camera backpack for adventure photographers and people that just want to get out there, have a bunch of camera gear, but also store other important stuff like clothing. So this is the Lowepro Powder BP500AW, and like I said, I think it's pretty much the perfect camera backpack, but there's no way I'm going to review a camera backpack without field testing it first, so yesterday I took this backpack up backcountry skiing, stored all my gear inside of here, and did a proper field test of this backpack just to see what it's capable of and if it's a camera backpack worth reviewing and worth recommending to other people. And I have to say, after doing all that, it definitely is. Okay, so when looking for a camera backpack, I had 5 criteria. Number 1, it had to be comfortable. 2, it had to be lightweight. 3, it had to hold a decent amount of camera gear. 4, it had to hold a decent amount of camera gear and additional gear. And 5, it had to be a great backpack that holds a ton of gear without even having a camera. So that's a lot of different criteria that I needed to keep in mind, and a lot of different bags fill a few of those, but not all 5. But like I said, I think this backpack fulfills all of those requirements, and I'm gonna show you why. So like I said, the first requirement for a camera backpack is comfort, and just like any other backpack, you want it to be comfortable, but even more so for a camera backpack because often there's a lot of gear in there, it's really heavy, and they're not the best padded bags. But this one I think is quite comfortable. Basically on the back it has this nice foam padding, which isn't the greatest. I wish it was a bit more sturdy, but it's comfortable enough to do several thousand vertical feet of hiking in a day with a ton of gear in it, so that's good enough for me. The straps on the bag are super sturdy, and the waist belt is quite tight and it fits nicely around your body. One thing that I always deal with because I'm 6 feet tall is that a backpack isn't long enough, so the straps don't go far enough down, so they're not sitting on your waist taking that load and weight. So for me, a lot of bags don't fulfill that requirement, but this one just barely does. It fits nicely down and is very comfortable. Before finding this backpack, I bought the Lowepro Whistler, and it was just much too short of a camera bag. It just fit way too high. The straps were around my stomach and it was really uncomfortable. So comfort is a really important thing, and I think this bag does it quite nicely. So the second most important thing for me is weight, because you're going to be having a backpack on your back and a bunch of camera gear inside of it, and you don't want all that additional weight weighing you down. So along with comfort, weight is really important, and this camera bag is actually surprisingly light. With the camera cube inside, it comes in at just under 5 pounds, which might sound like a lot, but compared to other bags, it's really not that bad. And if you take the camera cube out and just have it as a normal backpack, it comes in at under 3.5 pounds, which is super lightweight and it feels great on your back. So weight is not an issue with this bag, and compared to some of the other ones that are 6-7 pounds, this one definitely feels lighter. So my third requirement is that it can hold a decent amount of camera gear, and let's just jump into it. This pack has a really nice rear entry, so you just zip open this, and there you have all your camera gear compartments. As you can see, it's currently empty, but you can store quite a bit of stuff in here. Obviously, it's not as big as other camera backpacks that have that entire back open, but I just like having the bottom bit open for camera gear. The camera compartment is actually really deep. I can put my Sony a7S III in here, no problem, with tons of room above it. So you could probably fit like a small cinema camera in here if you really wanted, but plenty of room for a camera body, a few lenses, microphone, drone, that sort of thing. And yeah, you really shouldn't have a problem with gear. And my fourth requirement is that the bag holds a decent amount of camera gear, but also just other gear, so like clothing, water, that sort of thing. And this bag does not disappoint in that regard. You'll get so many different camera bags that only really have room for the camera stuff. There's no room for an extra jacket, for extra water, things like that are really important when you're going out and shoots, especially if you're an outdoor photographer, videographer, or you like to travel. That stuff is really important, and this bag is great in that regard. So let's just start with the top of the bag. As you can see, it has this really nice lid here, which you can completely remove, basically just take the whole thing off if you want, but you can also just stuff a bunch of gear in here. So when you take this off, you have a pouch up at the top to put stuff in. You have a pouch on the side here that you can put more gear in, and just has nice storage where you can store stuff on top of your pack, super easily accessible. But again, if you don't want this on your bag at all times, it's removable. So just get rid of it and you have a much more compact, concise camera bag that looks more like just a smaller regular backpack. Now once you take that lid off, you have an opening on the top and you have a bunch of room in here where you can stuff jackets, anything that you need down in here. It makes it super nice to just store stuff. And one thing that I really like is that it isn't a zipper on the top compartment like you might see in other camera bags. What it is basically just a cinch top. So just pull it closed, you can hold a bunch of gear, load it up to the top, and you can just close it down super easily like that. Now in the front, there's another really awesome compartment. So if we just unzip this right here, you can see there's this nice big open compartment right here where you can store all sorts of gear. It's actually weather sealed, so you don't have to worry about water seeping into your bag through here. It actually has a drain hole down at the bottom, so any water here can leak out, but it's really nice to just store additional gear. It's actually meant for backcountry skiing. So as you can see here, I have my probe for backcountry skiing. You can put a shovel in here, but you can also just put whatever miscellaneous items you want in here. So for example, I have a sit pad here and I have some additional safety gear, but it's a nice compartment that's weather sealed, nice to have in the front of the bag where you can just store additional gear. On the side of the pack, there's this awesome water bladder compartment. So if you just open up this zipper right here, you can see I currently have a water bladder inside of here. So you can just store 2 liters of water in this compartment. It has a nice hose spot, so you can bring that hose out the front and just store a lot of water in this side. And then down below the water bladder is a single pocket for water bottles. I wish they would have included one on the other side, but unfortunately it's just on one side. So you have to keep in mind that if you have 2 liters of water on this side of your bag, it's gonna be quite heavy to that side, so you're gonna wanna balance it to the other side. I wish they would have included another pocket. Like there's no reason they couldn't have done that, but it's whatever. Oh yeah, and there's also this little pocket in the front. I'm not really sure what it's for, but you know, you could shove something in there. But in addition to all these pockets, this bag just has a ton of places where you can attach things. So there's these straps right here, you can attach things on the front through there. There's these straps on the side where you can attach like skis through here, or you can attach a tripod or something like that. This other side has these same straps here. If you open up this zipper right here, there's this little holder for a tripod leg, so you can stick it in there. It works pretty well. But yeah, there's tons of just little straps and loops all over the bag where you can cinch things to, attach more weight. Okay, so as you can see, this backpack holds a ton of gear. It's actually a 55-liter backpack, which for comparison, my backpacking backpack is 58 liters. So it's just a little bit smaller than that, meaning that it can hold a ton of gear. But now let's get into my favorite feature and my 5th requirement, which is having a backpack that can be a camera backpack, but also can just be a regular backpack and get rid of the camera parts. I know that might sound a little bit counterintuitive because you're like, I want a camera backpack, why do I just want a backpack? But it's actually really nice to be able to get rid of those camera parts and just have a regular everyday backpack. Okay, so check this out. If you open up the back compartment here, and then we just look at our camera cube here, boom, pop it out, camera cube's completely separate from the rest of the backpack, meaning you can just zip this up, and now you have a full 55-liter backpack. The compartment goes all the way down to the bottom and you can hold a tremendous amount of gear in here. This is actually what I did when I went backcountry skiing yesterday. I just took out the camera cube because I didn't need that much camera gear. I just had my camera on this quick carry strap right here. I just attached it to the side and I was basically good with my camera gear. I didn't need to bring a ton of stuff because I wasn't doing a proper shoot. So in situations like that, this feature is incredible because you can just get rid of this, have a lightweight, normal backpack here, which can also just hold a few camera items and normal backpack items. But if you want to have a more proper shoot, have more protected gear, you can just throw this back in and you're set, ready to go in a few seconds. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this camera cube is a bit heavy. It's actually over a pound because it's so well padded, your gear is not going to get damaged in here. But you want to keep that in mind. If you want a lighter pack, you can just get rid of this cube and you're good to go. This cube is also just a great place to store your gear. If you close this little compartment on the top, just zip this up right here like so. Now your gear is contained in this cube. You can just store it wherever in your house or something, and your gear is already organized, ready to go, to slip into your bag. So it's an awesome backpack. I pretty much have very few complaints about it, and I think anyone getting it would be very happy. Just a few more things to note about this backpack. Like I said, I think it's quite comfortable, but I wish they would have made it like an inch longer in length. It would have fit me just a tiny bit better with my 6 foot tall body. Yeah, it's not a huge deal, but that just would have been a little bit nicer. Also, I read a review, I think on B&H, that someone said you can't have a camera clip on it, but I managed to fit it on here no problem, even though the straps are really thick. So that's just good to keep in mind because, you know, if you have a camera bag, you really want to be able to quick carry your camera on there, and it works just fine for me. Also keep in mind pricing. This bag is quite pricey, but most camera bags are. I got it for $250. I think it was a bit on sale, and I think it was more expensive before that. But if you get it on sale for about $250, I think it's totally worth the price. There's nothing else in that price range for this quality, and yeah, you find other camera bags upwards of $500, so this is a pretty good deal. And also just look at this design. I don't know, I just love this color scheme, this orange kind of coming over with the gray. I just think it has a nice accent color and has a nice boxy, clean shape that's really nice for everything. Oh, and I almost forgot, like almost every Lowepro bag, here at the bottom they have a rain cover so you can cover your bag if it's really pouring. I think it's supposed to be all weather already, like it's supposed to be a little bit rain resistant, but if it really rains, that's always there, which is really nice to have. So anyway, that's basically it. I think this backpack is great for anyone that likes doing photography, videography stuff, and likes to bring that gear somewhere that's more difficult to access. So if you're going on hikes, backcountry skiing, rock climbing, something like that, bringing your gear to a location, even if you're just traveling on an airplane or doing more localized shoots, I think this bag is going to be very satisfactory for anyone using it, and it's just a really pleasant bag to wear and use. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe down below. It helps me out a ton, and thank you as always for watching. I'll see you all next time.